Good morning and welcome to YFP 101. Just getting the live stream going and we are off to the races. So before we get going, I hope everyone had a wonderful long weekend. Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's working. I was a little nervous. The tech didn't want to work today. I hope you all had a wonderful long weekend and a happy July 4th to all of you south and happy Canada Day to all of us north. It's the one holiday that's kind of close together. It's kind of neat. So I hope you all had a wonderful long weekend and enjoyed some fantastic fun and got to spend time with family, friends, or just doing what you like to do. So with that, I'm going to jump right into this because today we are doing some basic training for Zoom. And let me get my share screen going and we'll jump into this. So I wanted to go over today just some basic in-meeting controls that will make your life a lot easier because we like easy buttons, don't we? Easy buttons are nice. And let me get my slideshow going. Usually I have the slideshow going, but as you all know, my second screen decided it was time to end. So I'm on one screen at the moment. Tell me when it comes in. So today we're going to go over getting to know your Zoom controls, and this will be just once you're in the meeting. So I'm going to show you how to, there we go, how to start a quick meeting from your Zoom app. I'll also show you how you can pin it to your taskbar. We're going to do some basic controls and just monitoring. So when you have people come in and say you're doing an event and people keep unmuting, how can you mute them? How can you mute all, that type of thing? And then we'll go over the basics of just how to end a meeting. Plus, I'm sure a few more things in between. So a little bit about YFP if you're brand new. Your Freedom Project, or YFP for short, is a 360-degree ecosystem of tools and training that can help you find new builders, find new customers, and increase sales and retention. And YFP addresses the three specific areas that builders struggle with in Shaklee, which is not knowing where to go to find people to talk to, not knowing what to do with the people they find, and not having a formula or plan to stay on track and measure success. And YFP supports your growth in three main ways, and that is with tools, training, and support. So this first little bit, I'm going to just go through some screenshots that I took, because that's the best way to do it, because you guys can't see my screen control, even if I do it the other way. It's still not as immersive. So we did screenshots, and then I'll go live and show you a couple other little tricks to make life easier. So let's start on this screen here. Whoops, back one, there we go. Okay, so how I have my Zoom, so you'll see at the top here, my first little picture at the top, that is my Zoom application, and I have that pinned to my taskbar, which sits at the bottom of my screen. I probably should have swapped these so it was in the right order. But this is the first step, is finding that little Zoom icon. If you don't see that Zoom icon, let me just show you, when we go live, I'll show you how you can pin it to your taskbar. So that's always on my taskbar, even if the application isn't open. But you look for this little icon, and if you're logged in, you're going to have this page show up for you. Let me get my annotate, so this will be easier. There we go. You'll have this screen show up, okay? This I find is the easiest way to start a meeting, personally. It's way more convenient. Now, if this screen doesn't pop up, it'll pop up where it'll ask you to sign in, and you just sign in with your Zoom credentials, whatever you set up for your account, for your username, which would be your email that you're using, and then your password. And the easiest way to do a meeting is just go new meeting. What's beautiful about this is as soon as you click on new meeting, it's just going to open up a meeting. Same thing with join. If you're joining, so let's say, Kathy, I send you, I'm like, join me in my Zoom room, and you know my Zoom code. So you'll need to know either the meeting ID, or you can use a name, by the way. So mine is under just Kristen Louise. So if you type in Kristen Louise, it'll come to my meeting. You can join in those ways, but you have to type in the meeting ID or the owner's name that they have on file, okay? Now, the other two on here I don't use very often, which is schedule and screen share. I don't use screen share unless I'm in the meeting. And schedule is, say you want to set up a meeting with somebody or schedule a Zoom call. It'll create, usually, depending on how your settings are in the back, and we'll cover that on another day. It'll usually create a whole different Zoom ID, but you can put in your settings that when you do a quick meeting, you want it to be what your main account ID would be. Okay, so this I find is the easiest way. So you would click on new meeting and off you go. So this is how I set when I set meetings up with you all. So like Kathy, if you're like, hey, Kristen, I need some help, no problem. I go into my Zoom app, click new meeting, and then I grab a link and send it to Kathy. Now let me show you how to get that link, because there are way easier ways to get the link than going through the whole invite process. I find the invite process can be very complicated. It gives you a whole bunch of other numbers and stuff that you don't necessarily need. So let's go over some of that. Now, first things first, before we go over that, we want to talk about how do you control your video and your audio? Okay, because I know many of you have come on where I'm still muted because I didn't check my audio. So down here at the bottom, you'll see I have them bottom left-hand side, and it should be there for everybody. You'll have your mute. It'll usually say mute. If it doesn't say mute, it'll say unmute, and it'll have a red line through it. And then it'll say stop video. Now, if it says stop video, or if it says start video, then your video is off and it'll have a red line through it. Okay. So these two here are the first things you want to do, especially if you're having any audio issues. So let's say, you know, your microphone's on, you're unmuted, but nobody can hear you. You may need to change something in your settings. So to change settings, you go to down here at the bottom. So where the mute button is, right beside it, there's this little tiny up arrow, and you get an up arrow beside both of these, and they'll give you different menus. So for your mute, this is where you can select your microphone. You can select which speaker. So if you have multiple speakers, like for me, I have my headset, but then I also have the one that's connected to my computer. And then for my microphone, I have, you know, my big USB, I have my headset one, and then I have whatever microphone is embedded into my computer as well. So making sure you have the right one. And then the last one here down at the bottom is audio settings. So if something's wonky and you need to change things in the audio settings, you can click on that. You'll get a whole menu, but most of it can be taken care of here just by, let's say I had my speaker coming through my computer and it was checked off. All I have to do is take my mouse, click on the top one, and it'll automatically switch it from in there. And then if you're also just want to test things before maybe you start, you can use this test speaker and microphone, and it'll give you a little prompt. Usually it gives you this little ding, 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 so that you can hear it. And then for testing your microphone, you speak, give it a couple second delay. And then once you hear it come through, you know that your microphone is also working. Okay. So
Kristen,
go ahead, Kathy.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
For the microphone and the speaker, you can only select one thing with each of them, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You can't have multiple speakers being used at the same time.
What I was wondering.
That's a great question. So if you ever come on with me and I'm like, I can't hear you, we may need to check your audio settings, but you can hear me, because we've had that happen before, or vice versa. This is where you would go to do it. And I can walk you through it verbally, but I can't hear you. So if it comes down to that, where it's either you can't hear me or I can't hear you, you go into your audio settings and then change it around until you get the desired result. Okay. Go ahead and unmute, PJ.
Okay. I have a question. Some of the times when I have conducted Zoom meetings, some of the people that have a cell phone, they're having trouble getting into the audio, and I don't usually do it on my cell phone. I do it on my PC, my desktop. So not my desktop, my notebook. So how is that different on a mobile phone? Do they get different messages?
When someone's joining on a mobile phone, it'll usually ask them right away, do you want to join with audio, and do you want to join through computer or data or Wi-Fi? And then it'll say no audio. So most of the time people will just select no audio out of default.
Okay.
And then it'll disconnect them. And then to connect them back, and I may have to go through this, we'll go through one coming up where we go through mobile as well. I didn't even think of that part, but it'll be a little different, and should ask them right away, do they want to join with audio, and how do they want to join? And they would just select with Wi-Fi data.
Okay, thank you.
The thing there. All right. So let's move forward. So that's audio, fixing audio settings. So let's go to video settings. So same thing, bottom left hand where that little up arrow is. So if I can't see you and we don't know if it's selecting a right or the correct webcam, because some of you have a built-in webcam, but also have an external webcam, which I do as well. So I have 2 webcams I can choose from. If the wrong one's selected, you're not going to get the video right. So same thing. So it's just a matter of click it on and pick the webcam you want. But then also this is where you can find your virtual backgrounds and update those. And then if you need to do any video settings like touch up your appearance, if you want to change if it's in high definition, that type of thing. Most of those you won't have to worry about right away. The basics you want is, can I turn on the video camera and am I using the right one? Okay.
Now, can I tell you one I use there a lot?
Yeah.
On the video settings, there's one for a video filter. And sometimes in certain lighting, my face will look real kind of yellowish or something. And when I do the gray setting, it cuts that out.
Yep, absolutely. And if you guys can look at Cody, he's got his cool sunglasses on. That's my favorite filter.
Oh, cool. Now, I have one more question. With the backgrounds, okay, I've got like the basic leaders plan right now. So we don't have access to a lot of different backgrounds unless we upgrade, right? Is that how that works?
That's not how that works at all. It's just a matter of uploading your backgrounds in there.
Okay.
So to upload, I don't know if I can share. Let me see when I go live if I can share, if I can make the controls show up for you guys. Sometimes it does, and there's certain ones that I can't, but we'll give it a go.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of uploading.
Okay.
Okay, and there was a question here. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got one question. Regarding your virtual background. Now, right now, if I put on my video and say that I don't want my picture shown, my picture will come up that I had photographer, a photo.
Yep.
But when I'm on other Zoom, like I go to the BNI meeting and I'll do that and my picture won't come up. My screen stays black. So what do I need to do besides trying to put another picture, but see that Zoom isn't mine and I can't control what they do. So is there anything that I could do there?
Yes. So if that's happening, that means that you're not actually logged into Zoom through your account. You're joining as a guest.
Right.
So if that's the case, like I've done it too, where I've joined and it just has my name, it won't show my picture. And that means, okay, I'm not actually logged into my Zoom account, but I'm joining a meeting as a guest. So that's the difference. You just want to check. How I do it is you go to that Zoom app.
Yeah.
And then log in and then retry joining that.
So you join it
meeting.
through your own.
You join
Zoom.
it through your own, through that join button.
Right.
Right. Because all you need is the code or
Right.
the meeting ID or the name of the company person who owns it.
Okay. I got that. All right. I'm going to try that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, PJ. I see you have another question.
Kathy, I had a problem with that too. And I just had fits trying to figure it out. But like Kristen said, one thing I want to mention to kind of clarify it a little bit, when you go in, you have to go into your Zoom first and log in, and then you get out of it.
Yes.
But you're still logged in, but you close it out. You close out the meeting.
Yep. You close out the meeting and rejoin.
Yeah. And then you join their meeting and you're still logged into yours. So your picture will show up.
Yeah. Yeah. So
okay. Now I understand that. So the question, I understand what you're saying. When you say log out, what you're saying is you actually got the app going, or the Zoom app.
Yes.
And then when you back out of it, the Zoom app is still there. It's just you're going to join their meeting because they send me a link and I have to join it through there.
Yeah.
But I could take that link. Will that link show up then when I go in to join meeting?
I'll show you what it'll do or what you need from the links that they send, because that'll be on the next screen here.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Okay. So that's dealing with video and audio issues, if there are any. I'm hoping you guys don't have any. So now let's talk about this little button in the top right-hand corner. Okay, it's very little. It's a little tiny shield with a check mark inside, or sorry, left-hand corner, not right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I don't know my left from right sometimes. So top left-hand corner, you have this little tiny shield, and it'll actually show up even if you're joining, if you're an attendee in the meeting. So you can always use this too. Say, if I said to Kathy, oh, Kathy, you know what? Susan is having a hard time getting in. Could you send her the link for me while I get the rest of this going? You go to this little shield, okay? And I think, do I do that first? Oh, I didn't do that first. Hold on. I have these all in the wrong order. Let's pin that for just a second. We'll talk about participants in chat and then we'll go to the link. I forgot which order I put these in. There's so many controls. Okay, so let's first talk about participants in chat and then we'll talk about the link at the top. So participants in chat are down here at the bottom. Okay, when you click on these, you're going to get this side panel show up. So you see on my side panel, it says participants and chat, and there's little settings you have in between all of those as well. So in the participants section, this is where you're going to see everybody who is here. Okay, you'll actually be able to see it if you click on the participants for this meeting. You can see everybody's here, but you're not going to be able to do anything to them. Whereas if the host, I can do things to you guys like turn off your audio, turn off your video, those types of things. Okay, so if you're running your own meeting, if you're running a meeting and you're noticing that there's someone who's not muted, you can go to this list and you'll see who's not muted. And when you hover over their name, it'll give you the option to mute them. Okay, and if you go to the more button, that'll also give you the option to turn off their video camera. So say you have someone who's got some really busy things going on. We've heard great stories about when videos are on and people didn't know it, things that went on. So if you need to turn off someone's camera, it's under that more button when you hover over top of their name, okay? Now, a couple other things to note is under the chat part, you also have this option, because I know some of you are like, I just want to send a message to this person, or I'm only sending a message to this person. I want to go to everybody. So it'll tell you who your message is going to be going to. And then you can also click on the down menu and be able to select if you say, if PJ just wanted to send me a message in the chat, she can go through that, select my name and send me a direct message and ask me a specific question that maybe she doesn't want the whole group to know. So if you're finding that happening, this is how you change it. So before you type in your message, just make sure that it's going to who you want it to go to, and then you're good to go. Okay, so now let's talk about this handy dandy button on the top here. So this little button is super cool because when you click on this, it gives you all of the meeting information, okay? And it gives you an option to just copy the link. So a lot of people will use the invite button, but that invite button gives you the link somewhere in there. And then it gives you all these phone numbers, it gives you extra other links, and it just turns into a big kerfuffle for some people, especially if technology is frustrating for people. So what I do is I just go up to that shield, I click on copy link, and then I can go and paste just the link into a chat, into an email, however it wants to go to them, and it'll just be the link. Now, the other thing to note is when I send the link, let me get my annotate back up here. When I send the link, you'll notice that there's these numbers at the end, okay? Some people will have a number, some people will have a name. That's your meeting ID. So if you're having troubles with the link, don't bother with the link. Go back to your Zoom icon, click join, and then just type in those numbers at the end of that link. That's the meeting ID, okay?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that works just fine if somebody doesn't have a password. If they have a passcode, how is that different?
So if there's a passcode, which mine doesn't have a passcode, it would show up right underneath invite link. It would say meeting password, and you could copy that meeting passcode and send it right after the link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So everything that somebody needs to join that meeting will be underneath that shield, okay? I just read it. All right, so let's keep rolling. And then the last thing, of course, is how do you end a meeting or leave a meeting? So if you're ever stuck on like, I don't know how to leave. I've had a few people that get stuck on it, and it's okay. I've gotten stuck on it too. So as long as you have your Zoom open in full screen, it's always going to be at the bottom right-hand side, and it'll either say end if you're the host, or it'll say leave if you are an attendee. and then you just click that button. You'll get another little sub box, which didn't want to stay when I was doing my screenshot, so I'll have to describe it to you. But you'll get a little sub box above it that'll say leave meeting or cancel. So it always gives you that option to, whoops, I accidentally pushed that button. I didn't want to end yet. And then you just click the one that you want, which will be end, and off you'll be done. Okay. So with that, I think that's it there. So those are all my beautiful slides that I put together for you all. So
Can
go
I,
ahead.
on this Kathy, I just wanted to make mention, because I do Zoom with my meetings and stuff, that chat box, I don't know if you could get back to that really easy, but show everybody how to save the chat. Because
Ooh,
that is something that people don't realize. And let's say you're at a meeting and you say, gee, Tom, do me a favor, put your name, your email, and your phone number in the chat. And then that way everybody can get it. If you don't know how to save that chat, so you get it later, you won't ever have his email or his phone number.
okay.
Just saying, I just think that's another good point.
Let me see
Because
if I
you
can
would
do
not
a quick
believe how many chats I've been
screenshot.
saving. And I have to
They're
clean them out. But I
handy.
print them off and then I've got everything and then I just put it where I want it.
Okay, let me see if I can get a decent screenshot, because obviously it won't show up for you guys as well as nicely. Here we go. And print screen. Okay, I think I got a basic one. Again, it's not going to be super, super pretty. Minimize that and then share screen. So I'll go to the slideshow and just show you what button to click on. And then I can show you what it looks like after the fact. So share screen, play from current slide. Okay, so when you're in the chat, do you see here on the bottom right, there's these tiny, I call it the sleeping snowman. Okay, the 3 dots at the bottom right in pink. Can everyone see that okay? Okay, cool. So when you click on that, then you're going to get, nope, oh, right, I gotta escape that. Then you're going to get this down here at the bottom right. So I got your face, Kathy, sorry. You'll get this down here. This will pop up for you at the bottom right. The top option is save chat, and it's going to save it in a notepad, but then you can go back and get the chat that's been going on. You can do this for almost any meeting unless the host has disabled that. Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm full of questions.
That's fine.
Okay, when I click on the 3 dots in the chat over on the right, all it says is save chat.
Okay. Awesome.
It doesn't say anything else.
So
And
the
this
trick to
here
this-
is just for me. So because I'm the host of the meeting, I get to see
Okay.
all that. You guys will probably only see save chat.
And this Kathy, just so that you know, because I didn't do it the first couple of times and I made a mistake. When that save chat comes up, you think it's saved, it's not. You have to click on save chat. So put your mouse over it, click it again, and then it will be saved.
Yep.
Okay, you understand?
Yep. So just double click just in case. Make
Right.
sure. It's always good to extra clicks are good.
Right, and then when the Zoom meeting actually closes out, I will look at my, just my regular page, and on the bottom, it'll be blinking. And then I click on that, and when it does, my Zoom chat comes up. And then I'll go into the very, very top. I will do a couple of enters to move it down, and I'll put up on the top BNI meeting dash, and I'll put the date, just so that I know. I'll save it. And then from there, I could put it anywhere I want. Then I could save as to wherever. Okay, or you print it out. Sorry, Kristen.
Nope, that's good. That's good.
I've
This is good.
learned all this and it took me a little while, but when you're in a meeting and you've got other people there and you really want to get that information, you really need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm out.
Oh, and also Cody just put something in there too that I forgot about. Once you end the meeting, Zoom will automatically save the chat history to the host. So then the host can also send out that Zoom the transcript of the chat, provided, again, no technical things, but okay. So with that, let me just share my screen. I'll show you a couple other little things. It's hopefully it'll do what I want it to do. And okay, can you guys see, and I should change this, hold on. Thank you. Just a second, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. File. Thank you. Send options. And we want that. Okay. I'll just change this up so then you can actually see things properly. Okay, so share screen, optimize for video clip. Okay, can you see my Zoom controls here? Oops. I want this to stay up so we got something to go against the background. Okay, are you able to see that okay? I don't know if you all can or not. And it should have like my mute, stop video and all that good stuff. Okay.
Yes, at least I could see it. Hopefully everybody else can too. It's a black bar with a little green line.
It's a black bar with a little green line. So you got it. And does it actually show you say mute, stop video, or is it just this gray bar across the middle?
No, it's got the mute. It's got everything across all the way over to more. And then just below it says you are screen sharing in the green and then stop share.
As long as it shows it, that's the key part. Okay,
yes.
So just so you can see how to set up a virtual, like to add virtual backgrounds, where the stop video is, you click on that little arrow, okay? You go to choose virtual background. Now, can you guys see my preview? Does that show up? And Kathy, maybe just stay unmuted so I can use you as a guidance because I can't see.
All right. Yes, you can see that. At least I can.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
Yep.
I can't see that real well. It's very small on my screen. But anyway, what was the second one called that you clicked on?
The second
icon from the left.
Okay, the second one from the left is stop video.
Okay.
And then you click on the little arrow that's just to the top right-hand side of it, the little drop-down menu. And then you click on choose virtual background, and that'll give you this preview. Okay, where then anything that you've uploaded will be in here that you can use. But if you don't have a lot of options, there's this tiny little plus button that says add image. You click on that, and then you click on add image again, and you can go and grab images from your computer that you want to use. So let's say I'll use this one. Okay, so open, and then it'll automatically put that new one that you selected as your background. But as long as you're logged into your account, this saves in your account, so then they'll always be here. So if you're not seeing a lot of virtual backgrounds, it doesn't have anything to do with your account. You need to upload some. And I do believe Cody put a link in there to some virtual backgrounds that we have for you all. Oh no, he put in the how to add virtual backgrounds. So that's great. And I'm just opened it. I didn't mean to open that. All right, we'll go back to launch Zoom meeting. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit. The other thing too that I want to show you with this is when you choose virtual background, this is also opens up your settings. So if you want to adjust your video, like touch up your appearance. So if you're struggling with some redness or you just don't feel very good that day, then you can adjust that. If you are in a low light setting too, you can adjust for low light. So it'll change. I don't need it because then it makes me look really white. But you can change that back. And then you can also have it where if you mirror your video or not. So it's up to you how you want to do it. When mirror my video is on, you actually can, like you, the viewers, can see my stuff properly. If I take it off, that's where you, the viewers, will see my stuff backwards. Okay, so I always keep my mirror video on, so then I know my viewers, like if I have text behind me, it all shows up the way it's supposed to, and it's backwards for me, but it's not backwards for you. So I think that's about it.
So a good way to test if it's on is to write something or hold up a book, right?
Yep. And just see if the people can see it properly. So I'll show you. Do I have anything?
Is this backwards or frontwards? Because when I look at it, it looks backwards to me, but maybe
and it's frontwards for me.
Okay.
So you're good. So I'll use, like for this, if I hold this up for you guys, you can all see that properly, right? It says one up.
Yes.
But if I go back into my video settings and I go turn it for mirror, now it's going to be backwards for you, but it's the right way for me.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you're going to be showing stuff like text, make sure you have your mirror on. All right, I think that covers some of the basics. Okay, so if there's anything that you need to go back over, again, it's recorded. You can go watch this instantly, but I wanted to show you just some very simple in-meeting controls that not everybody knows about, especially the little shield in the top left-hand corner that when you're inviting people to meetings is so simple. It cuts through all the gobbledygook and just gives them the link because we don't like gobbledygook. It's not fun.
Thank you, because I've been going into the participation little box.
Yes, and there's an
going
invite
into
button.
Right, and I know where the Zoom link is, and I've been copying that and then sending it on, but it's a little bit more work.
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
simple. That little button, when we found it, was like, oh, that's so easy.
Yeah.
So this
Thank
is great.
you.
All right.
I have one more question. Do you recommend when we do Zoom meetings, we use the passcode or we don't?
I don't really have like a preferred way of doing it. I look at how can I get somebody into the meeting as simply as possible. And if that means I turn off my passcode, I'm turning off my passcode. I'd rather it where I have to let someone in through a waiting room rather than them having to put a passcode in. So that's just my personal preference because I work with some people who struggle with technology and I don't want them to have to input another thing.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
I'll take the frustration if that's the case.
And then if there's a chance that you have to, you could kick somebody out if you have to.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, you
How
do.
How do you kick somebody out? I've never done that.
So that's one thing I'll have to do. Let's see if I can get a picture of it here. I won't kick you out, Cody, I promise, but I'll use you as my guinea pig because I know you can get back in. Okay. Print screen.
Cody, we all know you're technology driven.
He's got it, so I don't worry too much. Okay, so we got that. Now I need my Zoom.
Yeah, because if you don't use a passcode and then somebody weird gets in or somebody that you know that's just kind of, oh, well, I'm getting ready for the meeting later.
Exactly. So when you hover over, now it's not going to show up here, but when you hover over somebody's camera or videos, there will be a little, I'll show on Cody's, there will be this little, what does it look like? Oh, wish I could do this at the same time, but I can't. So hold on. Oops. Now I'm getting all my controls. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this properly. I'll have to do this with 2 screenshots. All right. Okay, so when you hover over someone's video, you have to just over theirs, you'll get this here. So you can ask them to mute, but then there's these 3 dots. So you click on the 3 dots, and that's going to give you, oh, wait for it. This, it'll give you these options here. And then it gives you the option to remove somebody right down here at the bottom. When you remove them, it's going to ask you if you want to report them to Zoom. So if they are shady, then obviously report them. But if it's just due to a technical thing, like they need to just leave and come back, don't report them, obviously, and allow them to join again. It's all good. Because I've had that happen where some people, they just need to jump out and jump back in and fixes whatever technical issue they're having. But for some people, yeah, it's nice to just kick them out. So yeah, it's just 3 dots, remove, and they're out of there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those are the important things to know.
These are the important things to know. The critical things. Okay. So with that, we'll get back into our PowerPoint, finish this off. So if you're brand new to YFP or you're curious about any of our tools that we've shown, whether it be on this call or other calls, there's a couple ways that you can explore them. So let's talk about the ways you can get started. So the first one is you can subscribe. So if you already know this is something that you want to utilize for your Shackley business, you can choose a plan that fits your marketing needs, select whatever add-ons you need, and then make sure you book an onboarding appointment. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. You can do that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/pricing. It'll show you our plans, pick the one you want, and then like I said, book the onboarding appointment. The next is you can do a free test drive. So you can sign up for a fully functional 30-day trial, start testing out the system, and of course, book the support appointment, because there are some things that we want to make sure are integrated properly for your free trial so you can really utilize the system to the max. And you can get to the free trial by going to yourfreedomproject.com/trial. And the third way to learn more or to get started is to visit our help center and request a guided tour. So you can book an appointment with one of our fantastic expert guides, and they will show you and walk you through the system, how it works, all of that. And then if there's something you want to do, they can help you pick the plan, and they'll help you book the onboarding appointment with you there, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But then also recommend that you join our YFP Facebook group for business builders. And you can do all of that by going to yourfreedomproject.com/support. Now the support, this is also where you would book that onboarding appointment. So if you started a plan and you haven't booked your onboarding appointment, this is here where you will do that. A couple other things you can do from here is you can give us a call if you just need to get in touch with someone right away. This is also where you can join the Facebook group. And I just want to clarify that the group is for business builders only, that you have to be a distributor to come into that group. However, you don't have to be a YFP member to join the group. So it's open to any and all Shaklee distributors. And we try to give as much free training as possible that they can utilize, but then they can also learn about the tools. And we do all of our updates and all that other good stuff in there. This is where you would also submit a ticket. So if you've run into a technical challenge, this is where you put that request for help in. Please, if you can, actually, not please if you can, just please refrain from posting it in the group or in the business chat, because we can't track it from there. It's really hard for us to monitor any technical issues that are going in there. So please submit a ticket, and then we know it's tracked. We can get to it really quickly and make sure it's resolved as fast as possible. To view any of your tickets and the correspondence between you and the elves, you can go to view your tickets. You'll see all of your tickets there, whether they're open and closed, how many conversations back and forth are there, and you can also reply back to the elf that's helping you if you're needing to just have a little bit more hands-on. And then here, this is where you would book that onboarding appointment. That's where you would book the support call. This is also where you would book to have a guided tour if you're wanting to just look at the tools before you make any big decisions and have someone walk you through the system. Okay, and then you pick who you want to work with, and it'll put them in your calendar or you in their calendar. Okay. And then if you're just needing a quick chat, you have a really quick questions that's not super technical, you can chat with an elf. I am also in here. So if you're not connected with me on Facebook, you can get to my Facebook Messenger. So this connects you through Messenger, and you can have a chat conversation here with any of the elves or with myself if you have any questions or anything that we can handle relatively quickly. And if it turns out that it's something that we need you to submit a ticket in for, then obviously we will let you know. So to get to the help center, you go to yourfreedomproject.com/support. And again, I recommend this every time, is if you can bookmark this page to your favorites on your web browser. It's really handy to have to be able to navigate to really quickly if you need help right away. And it'll save you logging in and having to go up to the help center. Just skips a few steps when you need to get to the help center. All right, so with that, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me for this demo. I hope that this is helping you feel more and more empowered to do your Shaklee business online. And just a little update for a few things that are coming up. And that is this Thursday, we are back for our Thursday classes. Now, this one is a free webinar, which means it is open to everybody. This is not an NWU class. We call this our YFP 202 webcast. So it's open to any and all distributors, and we are talking about Zoom essentials for network marketers. We have the fabulous Cheryl Turner coming on to share a little bit about how she's utilizing Zoom for her team to build leaders, which I know many of you want to do. So she's going to be sharing how she does that, and that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And Cody just put the link in there if you would like to register. Thank you, Cody. So if you want to register, and also you can take this link, share it with your team. This is open to any and all Shaklee distributors, any and all YFP members. This is just going to be some great information to help you see the value of Zoom and really how much you can do with it. And I think that about covers it. So until next time, oh, and we'll see you again Monday. So we are back next Monday for Marketing Monday and Content Creators Club at 3 p.m. Eastern. So we look forward to seeing you there as well. So with that, have a wonderful week, everybody. I look forward to seeing you Thursday. And if you have, I'd love to hear too in the Facebook group, if you're utilizing Zoom, what was the big takeaway from this call? And what have you tinkered with this week? What did you try new in Zoom to get more comfortable with it?